That's right, you guys. California hospitals are laying off healthcare workers because of the potential budget cuts in the big, beautiful bill. We're already feeling it. We are already feeling it. However, the hospitals are acting preemptively and firing healthcare workers. This is bad. This is bad for you. This is bad for your mama. This is bad for your grandma. This is bad for everyone. This is bad for nurses. Laying off nurses, laying off healthcare workers, laying off hospital staff is bad. It means care because, simply put, we can't be everywhere at once. It means longer wait times for care in the ER. It means higher costs. It means our entire community suffers.
Yale just announced, I don't know if your hospital is about to go through a major layoff or closure. 2 warning signs that you don't want to miss. Last week, I reported there were up to 41 hospitals with major layoffs and closures. Now we're up to 51, and it's just a week later, halfway through July. Why this is important is because you don't want to be on your heels when they make this announcement. You can prepare ahead of time, get ahead of the curve. The first one is sneaky. Companies are going to offer an early retirement option. Yale just announced this yesterday. Not always, but most of the time, it decreases the amount that they have to reduce in force from a non-voluntary perspective. The second way of knowing if a company is about to lay off is you can always check the WARN notice list. This can vary state by state, but it basically provides several different stipulations that companies must issue. Google WARN, go to your state, click 2025, and then you can just scroll and it will literally tell you the letter and how many positions that they're expecting to lay off. Don't be caught unaware. Use this information to inform yourself, be prepared, get ready. Use this as a career transition to better yourself and your.
A couple months ago, the big beautiful bill was passed, and a lot of people had mixed reaction about it. For some people, they argue that this will stimulate the economy, which is very much needed at this point, especially how the economy is. And many also say that this will increase a lot of people's wages, and it will provide a lot of tax cut for a lot of businesses. Because today, as you look at the economy, there's a lot of people who are complaining about inflation. Things are going up, but the thing that's not going up is a lot of people's wages. And a lot of business owners could potentially also benefit from this bill also. But there's other people who are arguing that the big beautiful bill will also increase the national debt. Because currently right now, our national debt is around $37 trillion. And this bill will add $4 trillion on top of the $37 trillion. So it will put a lot of stress on the U.S. economy, and it will also put a lot of stress on the U.S. debt. And on top of that, a lot of people also say that it will increase our interest rate, and it will also provide a long but slow growth, especially for our economy and for other investors and many businesses throughout the United States. So this beautiful bill also had a lot of benefit when you read it, because it provides a huge funding and budget for servicemen, especially armed force, law enforcement, border patrol. It provides them with funding that they need to be able to protect the nation, to be able to protect the border, to also provide a lot of jobs for, because they were short, where a lot of employees didn't have enough manpower to be able to secure the border. So this is a plus in some sort of way, but there's so many people who are also concerned, especially people who are focused more on the healthcare sector. They're concerned about this bill because it has an impact on a lot of people who are on Medicaid. So many people on Medicaid will be impacted by this. It's estimated that around 20 million people who are Medicaid will be impacted by this bill. And this also will have an impact on so many elderly folks out there who has to pay a certain amount of copay to be able to get checked up. And this will also increase their copay, which can range probably close to 100, 200, depending on the state or the type of Medicaid program that you're in. So a lot of people are concerned about that because so many people, especially elderly folks, they don't have the money to be able to pay for the copay. And this is a similar concerns for so many people, not just the older folks, but also just the average American. because they're all basically stretched out thin with so many things that they have to pay for. They have to pay for their cars, they have to pay for their mortgage, they have to pay for their groceries, and many of them are balancing a job and a side gig, or even two jobs and a side gig, and many of them are just doing multiple things to try to make ends meet. And just, when you're going to go get checked up and knowing that you will have to pay more than what you pay as a copay, it can be concerning for so many people. And this also could also impact a lot of hospitals. As you can see, this young lady talked about how in California, they're laying off a lot of healthcare workers. And it's probably happening throughout many other states, but it's probably not happening in the same scale as we see in like tech, as we see in like transportation industry, as we see in like retail, and as we see in so many other industries. But it's happening in some sort of way, and a lot of hospitals are actually shutting down. This is a little concerning, and this will also have an impact on how many hospitals operate, especially the hospital that's laying off a lot of people. Because when you go to the ER and you have to wait, because even if you go to the ER right now, you still have to wait for a certain amount of time. But if it's like a really bad emergency, you still have to wait, because most likely the hospital is understaffed. The hospital can't really, tend to your needs as fast as they would if they had more employees and things like that. So this can also have an impact on how, a lot of people will be treated in the hospital, because many people could be frustrated because for them, their illness is really, concerning, it's bad, but the hospital can't treat you as fast as you want because they're understaffed. They need to, tend to the people who are actually in urgent needs. And this is an experience that I experienced when I went to the hospital with my little brother. We waited at the ER room for about, I would say maybe about 7 hours. 7 hours just for him to get treated by the nurses and by the doctor. And it took us a while. So this will also increase. The 7 hour might even become maybe 9-10 hours for so many other people. So this is a huge concern, and this just shows that a lot of politicians makes decisions that has an impact on our life, and they probably don't even know how much of an impact that this decision have on so many people's life. They make decision in the White House, they make decision in the Washington, D.C. Capitol, and these decisions is having an impact in so many people's life without them even knowing. Because yes, maybe this bill had good intention. Maybe this bill intention was to basically, help out so many people, but they also got to keep in mind that a lot of people will be impacted by this decision. And most of the people that will be impacted, they're not people who work in Silicon Valley. They're not people who make about 6-figure salary. These are people who probably make close or even below the national wage in the United States, which is around $37,000 for some. And for some, it's even below that. And these are the people that will be impacted by it, because they're already stretched thin with so many things that's going on in their life. Because so many Americans are, buried in debt, in student loan debt, in credit card debt, in car debt, and just consumer debt. And there are just so many things that's going on that, if this bill, it probably has good intention in some sort of way, but it could also have an impact in so many people, especially in the health sector. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. If you're new to my channel, please make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. Until next time.